Hey all, and this is the Flight of the Eagles event. This is a Water Commander event and Immortal Killer. So I made up a few teams. This is what I was originally going to use, but it doesn't seem that effective, so I ended up just going single affinity. This is what I'm using for the Crusade, and then a very similar team for the solo bosses, but with changed relics and one changed card. So let's start with the main team, the Crusade team, should I say. Trojan Lovers as the lead card. This is actually a really useful card. Creates a lot of power gems and increases Water Commander damage. So I've actually used 3 cards from this deck. There's Paris, shiny card, and Helen of Troy. Helen gives the damage boost, and then if we go back across, Paris, son of Priam, that gives all the power gems. So those 3 cards are pretty effective when on the team. And then I have Wave Warriors for the killer skill. It's not the most powerful card, but it is 3 pink stars, so at least I have a semi-decent killer skill for the event. If we scroll down, should find it somewhere. I've gone past it. I think there we go. 800% while immortal enemies are present. That's a pretty decent killer skill. It's not the 900% from the event deck, but slightly under. And then Headstrong Sirens, another very useful card. This one boosts up the damage when you have 16 or more water gems on the board. And that seems to work for other cards that are not chaotic killers, so yeah, that helps a lot with the damage. So the relics for this team are basically Water Commander relics and 1 Immortal Killer relic. Nothing too exciting about these. They're just the best relics I had, basically. Yeah, targets all Water Commander heroes, same with this one. It's slightly different for the next team, you will see in a minute. There we go. Then this one's actually a Slayer relic, I believe, but it targets all Immortal Killer heroes. Yeah, you can see there a Water Slayer Immortal Killer card, or just a Slayer Immortal Killer. It doesn't have to be water. But yeah, that's what I'm using for the relics for the Crusade. So now let's move on to my best team for the bosses. A very similar team, but I'll talk through the changes. The main change to the cards is that I have Blood Blessed Ruler on the team. I want the ultimate form for this, which would be this card here, which is Uprising Coven. If you have that, then this would be a better option. The main reason this card is so useful, it's actually useful on both the solo bosses and the guild bosses. If you have a look, it cleanses 1 enemy debuff from each Water Commander on your team, and also dispels 1 enemy buff. So solo bosses have dodge this time around. That will remove dodge. The guild bosses have, I believe, Power Gem Silence and Might, and that will actually remove both of those. So yeah, I put that on the team for that reason. Pretty much an essential card, I think, for my team. Then the rest of the cards are just the same as my Crusade team. So onto the relics, a slight change. I have another Immortal Killer relic on the team. That breaks 3 shields, and then pretty much the same as before with the Water Commander relics. Just at the end, the Immortal Killer relic, that breaks 4 shields. Yeah, something like that should work. Just make sure you have enough relics to break the shields. Immortal Killer relics are pretty easy to get, or have been anyway, so hopefully you'll have enough to break all the shields. I haven't focused too much on the vault this time around. There is actually a special offer here though. I don't see any point in really going for this, as it only gives a guaranteed support hero. However, you have a look at this, it does also give you 4 vault cards, so that's not actually a bad deal. It's not a good deal, admittingly, but it's not bad. 4 vault cards for 1,000 gems. If you did get a Master or Ultra Hero deal, though, you may want to consider going for it. You may also want to try your luck with the Guaranteed Support Hero deal. I mean, 4 vault cards for 1,000 gems is okay. You run the risk of getting absolute garbage, though, from that, so open that at your own risk. So I didn't really focus too much on the vault. I only did 2 tiers and I got nothing. So let's move on to the actual event. Alright, so here we go with the actual event. For now, I'm going to be focusing only on the Radiant map. They said there's some sort of slight change to the HP and trophies, but I've not really noticed it yet. So unless I see a significant change to Corellium, I think I will just focus on the Radiant map. Now, what card can I pick? Any card that has 300, 600% for all Water Commander heroes. So, Nocturnal Heralds that you can see here is a perfectly okay choice. Of course, you can pick the ultimate form from this deck. Trojan Lovers is another good choice. I have that as my avatar currently. So let's go ahead and use Trojan Lovers and hopefully complete this Crusade mission. I shouldn't have too many problems. Right, here we go. So sometimes there are actually special bosses in the Crusade as well. I'll talk more about that in a bit when I move over to the guild bosses section of the video. So the way to use this team, turn 1, use a couple of the Trojan Lovers cards, or I could use Paris and Trojan Lovers. That fills the board with water power gems like so. Then I can start hitting. Unfortunately, this team is a bit slow. However, it's the best I can make up, so I'm going to have to make do with it. But yeah, if you're looking for a super fast team, this is not it. As you have to use one of the Trojan Lovers cards first, then you can hit afterwards, so it takes 2 turns. Then I'm really saving my other cards for the bosses. I haven't had a boss yet, but I'm sure I'll get one soon. There we go. Okay, so there's a boss. Going to need a few more power gems on the grid, so this should fill it up. Have a look at the card. 3 turns on the power gems, even though it seems to have worn off now, so go and get the power gems on the board again. There we go. That should hopefully defeat it now. If it doesn't, then I have a bit of a problem. Yeah, that's good damage. And then for the boss, just repeat the process, get the power gems on the board, and then hit it. One thing you do have to be careful of with the Trojan Lovers deck is if the enemy has dodge, if the attack misses, then you will not get the power gems on the board. And that's kind of annoying. This looks like a pretty respectable hit, though. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, if I had picked an ultimate form, it probably would have been a little bit quicker. But yeah, it works with any Water Commander hero that has 300 and 600%. So they're the cards you want to have up as your lead. and the cards you want to use as your ally cards. Alright, so I have a solo boss up. It took me quite a long time to get this solo boss up, which is not necessarily a bad thing, as these bosses take quite a bit of work to defeat. They're not easy, but the crucial card really is this one. If you don't have the event deck, you need to do something to remove dodge, otherwise it's going to cause you significant problems. So here we go. Let's go ahead and fight the solo boss. Right, here we go. So yeah, turn 1, use this card if I can. If not, do it on turn 2. Then as soon as dodge goes up, I need to use that before using Trojan Lovers. Otherwise, you won't get the passive power gems spawning from that. So use it now. Remove dodge, and then here we go. Now I'll get all the power gems on the board and I can start hitting. It's not a massively effective team, but there's not many other options as I don't really focus on water decks. This could be quite interesting. There's lots of loose power gems. See what sort of damage this does. Yeah, that's a good hit. Good starting hit. Now I just need a few more hits like that. Easier said than done. Let's try matching those two up there. That's reasonable. It's not going to be super effective. Again, as soon as dodge goes up, use Bloodbreast Brawler, or if you have the ultimate form for that, use that instead. Actually, I might as well use it once I have Trojan Lovers ready, as that's the card I need to hit. So here we go, use it now. Get all those lovely power gems, and now hopefully I'll be able to kill the boss relatively quickly, but it's still a bit of a grind and it's not going to get any overkill. But at least I can kill it in one attack with this deck. And water decks are really not my thing. I really lack them with both Slayer and Commander decks. They're always first in the season. It's really annoying that they do that. Now the damage here is looking pretty good again. So I should easily defeat the boss in the time. And I'm waiting until Trojan Lovers is ready before I remove dodge. I can't see too much point in removing it before then, because that's when all the power gems spawn. If dodge is up, then the attacks might all miss and you don't get any power gems if that happens. So hopefully that makes sense. It should die on the next attack with a bit of luck though. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Use all the skills and hopefully defeat it. So yeah, it's a bit of a pain, but this is not a bad deck in all fairness. And yeah, I can actually kill the Radiant solo bosses, which is the important part. Getting overkill does not really matter too much as long as I can actually kill them. There we go, nice. That's the solo boss defeated. Alright, so now moving on to guild bosses, I'm going to have a go at that Radiant. I will use a similar strategy as to what I used on the solo bosses. I need to remove Power Gem Silence. So I'm going to give this a go. I'll use the same team as what I was using for the solo bosses. Yeah, Power Gem Silence is the main problem, but as long as I can remove it with Blood Blessed Brawler, it shouldn't be too difficult. Of course, I won't kill it. You meant to attack these as a guild, really, but I should do some sort of damage to it. So here we go. Let's give this a go. All right. Here we go, turn 1. Then I need to remove Power Gem Silence before using Trojan Lovers. Well, in this instance, it's not actually on the Trojan Lovers card, so I can wait until the next turn. There we go. Now remove it off the one card. So this should do reasonable damage. Let's see. 1.6 billion on the middle card, 212.9 trillion. So now I can't really do a huge amount because of Power Gem Silence. I just have to wait now until I can remove it again. But yeah, this idea is probably better than using a counter card. Use it next turn once Trojan Lovers is ready. And this will cleanse even if Power Gem Silence is actually on the card as well, which is good. Sometimes Power Gem Silence blocks all the card's skills from doing anything. Unfortunately, Power Gem Silence has now gone straight back up, but I can still hit. You can see without the event deck, you're very limited for options for what you can do on the guild bosses, so yeah, not going to be that easy. You can see the damage values, they're not massive. If we attack these as a guild though, they should drop pretty fast. Individually though, they're way too difficult. I'm going to finish and get one more attack out. Remove Power Gem Silence, and here we go. Final hit, let's see how much damage I can do to the boss. Hopefully pretty reasonable, but we will see. Here we go. That's not too bad. Let's try that, see what it does. 1.7 on the middle card. There we go. So that gives you an idea of what you can do with the guild bosses if you don't have the event deck, but yeah, without the event deck, I'd recommend staying on the Corellian bosses. Radiant bosses are simply too difficult. You won't kill them quickly without the event deck. Well, you can see from my attempt how much damage I did. It's not a lot, it was around 2Q in total at most. This is from 2 attacks at the boss. Yeah, 2.7Q from 2 attacks. Well, 1 tag and 2 attacks, so it's 3. Yeah, not a lot of damage at all, unfortunately. So this is the special Flight of the Eagles event, so there are wardens available here. 4 individual wardens, and you can craft the first quad warden if you can get all 4 of the wardens. Now, before we go too much further, this is what the quad warden looks like. It actually looks kind of ridiculous, but it has Siphon, Auto Heal, Slumber and Might. Now, 3 of those skills are basically useless. Slumber's quite affected though, but that can be removed by something like Area. So yeah, 4 rather weak skills, 4 counter skills as well, Mute and Fear, and Toxin as well. So yeah, the counter skills are probably the best part of this Warden. The defender skills are not exactly effective, if I'm being honest, so not exactly something I'm going to get excited about. You're going to have to spend a lot of gems as well to get this. So I've already hatched my egg. You get the items needed to hatch the eggs from the Crusade. You shouldn't need to do too much crusading to get at least one of these done. However, to get all 4, you're going to need to either purchase the eggs or the egg gifts. So that's entirely up to you if you want to do that. The Warden itself doesn't exactly look that good, considering it has 4 defender skills, so I wouldn't get too excited over this. So I'm very pleased to see it's another GVG relic collection this time around. Always a really, really good collection. This time it's the water GVG relic. So you're guaranteed a 3-star version of this, then you may or may not get it higher depending on what runes you get. I'm going to go ahead and claim all of these. And then I'm going to see if I actually manage to get it up to 4 stars or not. I don't really use water attack teams, but it'd be interesting to see what happens. Well, I think that's 5 different runes there. No idea if I got the last one or not. I'm seeing a few duplicates. Let's go to the forge and see what happened. Did I get the GVG relic up to 4 stars or not? Here we go. Let's go to forge. I believe it's under legend relic. Oh, there we go. As always, missing the 1 rune. That was annoying. It always seems to happen though. It's the 1 rune you don't get. You get all the others without any problems, then the game doesn't give you the 1. Well, okay, I have to make do with just a 3-star version, unfortunately. Let's have a look what it is this time around. Either a warden or dragoon. Okay, it's a warden with a... Oh my goodness, what is this? Okay, that skull made it look really exciting, but it's not. That's just the battle skill. Defender skill, absorb. That's not really that useful, if I'm being honest, except maybe near the end of a defense, but yeah, not something I'm going to be using. And dispel dodge, well, that'd be useful for this event. Those annoying dodge solo bosses. Yeah, that battle skill looked really exciting. It's actually quite a decent skill as well. Immediately retaliate for 200,000% attack. I would be curious to see what that actually does in battle. But yeah, the battle skill sounds like the most interesting part of this. Now finally, let's have a look at the actual event deck. Obviously I can't actually get this, but it might be a decent deck. I haven't really looked at this properly yet. Create 6 water power gem level 7s and heals at the start of each turn. 100% damage buff to the first hero each turn to activate their battle skill. So, yeah, you're probably going to want to use the ultimate form first each time. So you get the 100% to that. Probably the sort of team that's going to work well if you use Iria with it, or the golems. Let's have a look at the 2 individual cards. It looks like a potentially decent deck, but you're going to need other cards to make it work, as with pretty much all decks. 100% damage buff to the first hero each turn to activate their battle skill. So I'm curious if that stacks up or not, as you could have 200% damage buff if you have 2 copies, for example. Interesting deck for sure. I think it's the sort of deck I might be tempted to get if it was a bit easier to get, so to speak. As it's the first event in the season, I probably can't really get this, unfortunately, without using a lot of gems. And there we go, that's the end of this video. I hope that was helpful. As always, if you do have any questions or suggestions regarding this, please let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to help. If you did enjoy this video, leaving a like and subscribing to the channel is always appreciated. Thank you to those that have already subscribed, and thanks for watching.